Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT Then Now Forever. I'm James Boyd and I'm here with a frequent contributor, some would say a regular, right, to lordsofpain.net. What's going on, Imp?
Hola, my name is Imp. That's the best thing. If you've ever heard me do intros, I am so shit at them. Like on my own show, Byrne always would just try and poke holes in my intro. It took me years to be not awful at intro. Yeah, I know. I'm right for Lords of Pain on it.
Dude, the thing is, I've done enough shows to where I'm confident doing it now. But at one point, I was doing a NFL weekly show with my friend, my high school one of my professors from high school named Brandon Thorne, who's now an internet writer for NFL football, doing offensive line stuff, which your eyes are rolling back. You don't know what the hell that is, probably. But he had a but he had a relationship with a former general manager for one of the NFL teams named Ted Sundquist. So just off the strength of our relationship and friendship through the years, I was part of that show, and they would ask me to kind of host it and MC it, and I could MC it, but I was so shit at trying to do intros that Ted would actually have to come on and do this thing for me for a while, and then I was like, this is ridiculous. This is one of the reasons why I'm on here, is to try to steer the ship and everything else. Then I eventually settled down and learned how to do it, but it actually took trying to think how to make it simple, sweet, and not feel like I am just putting on or whatever else. So yeah. I just kept it simple, ladies and gentlemen, fill in the blank, the title of the show. I say I am him, right? And then I bring in whoever I have with me to say hello, and then we move on from there. So in that fashion, we'll just move on from there. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. We had Takeover. We had the Takeover after show, which is all the stuff from Brooklyn that they add in and tie in to move on forward. And then we also have the retro show. So we're going to start in chronological order. We're going to start with the retro show 5 years ago this week. And then we're going to go to Takeover. We're going to probably do 10 minutes on that, because I'm sure by this point in time there's been so much going on. So much stuff, so many reviews. People have already heard it. People have heard reviews of the reviews of the reviews. And then we'll go to the Takeover after show. NXT episode 500. So we're going to start with retro NXT.
Bo, I don't know what I'm going to do with a whole ring full of Bo Liebers. This is the worst attempt at Occupy I have ever seen. You don't have enough people to occupy a seesaw in that ring.
Your boy. I got excited watching it. So many memories came back.
So many memories and so many things you wish you forgot. So, NXT episode 216, April 10th, 2014. The show opens up with a memoriam graphic for The Ultimate Warrior. Out comes Adam Rose with all of his ballyhoo and shenanigans. And I don't think I've ever seen Braun Strowman this happy before. Have you ever?
In his Roman battalion outfit.
No, but he had the Roman battalion outfit on. And then after he leaves, after lifting Rose back into the ring, he walks off and he's wearing red trunks. So he's in red undies with the Roman regalia deal. And I'm just like, what even is this?
Like him and Simon Gotch in the red and white hoop shirt. They're the two that I always remembered. They had people in I don't want to say it was Teletubby gear, but it was Teletubby gear. It was There's a little like they're inflatable men.
Yes.
Whatever they were. Yeah.
Yes, they're like the wacky arm-waving inflatable tube man / Oompa Loompa / Teletubby / Starfish / whatever else you want to throw in for a jab. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, wow. So, they zoom out and we see the opponent, and it is Danny Burch, Martin Stone from Rev Pro. And I'm just like, wow, okay. Legitimate worker, tough guy is about to do the shenanigans. Alrighty then. So, Adam Rose versus Danny Burch. Burch lands some strikes until Rose suckers him with his patented tomfoolery. Burch lands more strikes. That only fires Rose up. Rose lands jabs, then some double chops, then a Bronco Buster and a Spine Buster, then removes his elbow pad and delivers a Bret Hart-like second rope pointed elbow drop for the win. That was a lot of offense.
Like, immediately you can see where the issue was when he got called up so quickly. It's just like, the entrance is amazing.
Yes.
And then he starts to wrestle. It's like, right.
I didn't even think of it being that bad. I just thought it was like he came up on the main roster after the amazing entrance, and he looks like a star, and he's doing all the shenanigans. And you think, at worst, he'll have a career just doing this shenanigans and whatever else at the mid card. Like, he could be the next Brodus Clay that has a nice sizable career doing comedy. That's fine. But they brought him up and they were like, let's have him be jealous of his bunny. so my next question for you was, did we ever figure out who the hell Adam Rose's bunny was?
Was it Heath Slater, or was it someone a bit more high caliber than that?
I don't even remember. I was just hoping that you remembered, because it popped in my mind like, wait a second. Didn't he have a bunny, and then he started feuding with the bunny, and then like the bunny got over, and then like nothing came of it?
Yeah. I want to say it was Heath Slater, but I can't guarantee that. That was such a weird timing. It's such a weird thing to look at. It's very similar in a way to Elias in the fact of he's amazing when he's not wrestling. And then he starts to wrestle. It's just like, oh, well, we need to temper that down.
Yes, yes.
But they've handled Elias a hell of a lot better than Adam Rose. I'll give them credit for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I still never want... I would much rather see Adam Rose wrestle than Elias, but yeah. Like, what do we have besides that Seth Rollins match from last year on pay-per-view?
Yeah. The headlock match against Dolph Ziggler in England. Oh, that was boring, and I couldn't get that time back.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
Disgusting. So then we get a recap of Graves versus Zayn from last week, or the week before, because technically it's not a week before, it's a retro show. Sorry. So we get a backstage interview with the match's ref. The ref says competitor safety is number one, and he deems Sammy unfit because he couldn't respond to any of his communications. And then we get an immediate backstage interview with Graves, and this woman interviewer literally asked, I quoted this, quote, Corey, I spoke with the referee Stu Bennett, who awarded you a win in a controversial match against Sami Zayn. Do you consider that a win? Unquote. What the fuck?
Do you consider your victory a win, James?
Yes. Oh, so, Graves ups the ante of terrible in a different way. He says, quote, you're cute. Where'd they find you? Really?
Yeah.
We're just hitting on the woman in the workplace, huh? That's what we're doing? Okay. So,
I was gonna say he's got a concussion, hasn't he? As soon as I heard him talking about this, I hit up James. It's just like, oh my god, it's the concussion storyline.
Yes. And then it's coming soon, like next week or the week after. His old wrestling career will be done with, as far as grappling in the ring. So then Graves continues and says, I suppose you'd like me to say that there should be an asterisk, like it doesn't really count. So he goes on and says, just like Barry Bonds, the undisputed home run king, I beat Sami Zayn. A win is a win. So Sammy, rest your little head of yours, because we're just getting started, pal. multiple things. Would you like to continue the things and figure out what my things are, or do you want me to go on with the things? Imp?
You go on.
Okay.
So, have a wee little
okay.
cough.
Yeah. Do you know who Barry Bonds is by any chance?
Nope.
Okay. In this country, we have this thing called baseball. It's kind of like an offshoot of cricket.
Oh, yes, professional rounders, as I called it in my column.
Okay, so basically, the scoring system is there are bases. You go around 4 bases. If you go around 4 bases, then you get up 1 point. A point is called a run. So if there's a situation where ball hits bat and it goes over the fence 300 and some odd feet away from the home plate, they call that a home run. So Barry Bonds set the record in 2007 for most career home runs ever. He did it while being a performance enhancing and drug cheat. The thing was, he was already on pace to being one of the handful of greatest baseball players to ever live, and then he got no notoriety in the late 90s as other guys started taking steroids and juicing up to the gills in having home run records for breaking some of the season records. So he got pissed, and a couple years later, he shatters the record, and becomes like the most dominant force baseball's ever seen. He had seasons from 2004 that looked like, I can't even describe what it looks like. He was already one of the handful of greatest baseball players of all time, and then he has that 4-year span when he's juiced to the gills, and it looks like he doesn't belong in the sport. He's a god. He's not even a video game cheat. He's literally a god. So, that's what he's claiming to, just to give you some intel. But the thing I don't get is, he said that Barry Bonds is the undisputed home run king. What the fuck does that have to do with you winning through ill-gotten means, especially because, he didn't tie it together. I'll go through the quote again. He says, I suppose you'd like me to say that there should be an asterisk like it doesn't really count. But just like the Barry Bonds, the undisputed home run king, I beat Sami Zayn. Barry Bonds didn't beat anybody. It's a team sport. He never won shit. He's just hit home runs. That's it. I don't get it. Whatever. Whatever. So we just move on because I already derailed this show already. Sorry. So out comes later on in the show. Out comes Bayley, and she's looking like a Los Angeles Laker playing a road game. And then out comes Sasha Banks. She looks like a Hartford Whaler, and we get them in a match. And Sasha starts out in early control, starts having a temper tantrum because she can't put away Bayley in the first 90 seconds of the match. Total brat. She starts streaking. Bayley slips out of a body slam attempt from Sasha and fires back with some running axe handle smashes. I wrote a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to cut to the chase. She then goes she finishes it off with a back elbow drop from the for the second rope. Bayley charges Sasha in the corner. Sasha gets the boot up. Sasha then puts Bayley in another straitjacket choke. Bayley then drops to the floor, scurries backward behind Sasha's legs while still in connection with Sasha's hands, and then flips Sasha over in a front bump and has to land on her back. And then Sasha pulls her up by the hand and then up to her feet and then hits the Bayley to belly suplex for the win. So you know what the first thing I thought when this happened?
That Charlotte looks half the size of her now. It's insane.
Really?
That was my first thought when she walked out. I was like, oh my, she looks like literally half the person. It's incredible.
Huh. The thing I noticed with Charlotte mostly in these shows now is the hair was so much more tame back then. It's before the extension game, before she glowed up, if you will. So,
she looks like she's come from her gymnastic background in NXT. Mm-hmm. Compared to now she's a wrestler.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So much muscle. Yeah, all the over the top hair extensions, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by twice the size. So now she's a right muscly bastard compared to there, where she's a gymnast. Coming in.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you could do then, now, forever. She was always the gun show. She always had these gigantic arms, looking like she'll rip your head off. So you don't want no smoke with Charlotte. But I think this, you know, the last year with her, like, some of her matches have gotten ugly in the good way. I mean, like, everything's a struggle, and like it's not a choreographed thing. It's like that Ronda match was I don't say a war, but it was rough. And the Becky matches, especially the last one, the Evolution, anyway, that was rough. So I think that Evolution is really cool, because it's one thing when it was like, yeah, in a big match, Charlotte is gonna pull out a moonsault off, or some type of moonsault variation, and it'll be cool if we're a spot, and she's gonna go through and do all the other, things. But now it's like she's added that layer of physicality, and also like her selling is upped too. So it's like she is getting better as we speak. And it's like she's already damn near the best. Now she's getting better. It's crazy.
She's gotten so good at being a wrestler that when she wrestles, it's like she's not wrestling. She's actually in a more tough kind of fight situation.
Yes. Yeah. It's very easy to suspend disbelief watching her. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
So my main thing was, I mean, I know you watch New Japan. This was hand control. This was like the wrist control when Okada's like, he grabs the wrist, and you do everything in your power to get him to let go, because if he hits you another one, you're done. And in this situation, it was like, I have hand control. I pulled you up, and I literally beat you my finish. That was awesome.
The way Bayley got back into it at the end is like, yes. Logic in WWE, how nice.
Yes. Like, also in this match was earlier, and this is DDP did this a lot, where, and you'll see this in other very good wrestling matches, where somebody will hit a move, and then the match goes on, and someone goes for it again, and either the person learn like that hurts, I'm never doing that again, or figures out a nifty way out of it after the first time. So she had her in that straight dragon hold, the choke the first time, and then the second time she slaps on, she's like, all right, I'll go to the ring, scurry behind you, flip you over on your damn back, and then I beat you. I was like, okay, I like that. Storytelling.
Yeah, and it's storytelling without like them shouting at the other person going, I don't like you.
Yes.
That's not storytelling.
Yeah. Or the special, like the Triple H special of like, I'm going to yell at you what the story is so the crowd can understand it. That's an NXT special as well, yeah.
Then the Undertaker wide eye looks back and goes, all right.
So we get a commercial for the Legend House, and I'm immediately bummed out because Mean Gene's no longer with us. So then we get Mojo Rawley versus Sylvester Lefort. Now, this is the first time we've ever seen Sylvester Lefort on this show that we've been covering it. Yeah. So if you ever listen to this show during the Mojo Rawley match, you already know what it is. 2 stinger splashes in the corner, a hip attack coming out from off the ropes, and then a running, jumping ass drop for the win. Dude, I think I said last week, I'm tired, to Jeremy, I'm tired of these Mojo squash matches. We need to move on. And when they run out the next week, more Mojo squash matches. Except this one was even more basic than the ones before. It's like, throw them into the corner, do some football defensive line drills, and then go into your 5 moves of doom, or 4 moves of doom.
And then Matt Bloom's putting him over like he's the greatest thing ever. Just the fact that he keeps on going and doesn't stop. I was like, that. What you mean? He keeps doing his NFL tackles and charges, and that's what's good about him?
Yes.
I don't get it.
Yes. And the crazy thing about it is, he's actually over the crowd. Like, they're actually into it. They're actually chanting Mojo, Mojo. And I'm like, am I being fucked with in the space-time continuum? Are they putting did Vince go back in time and insert this stuff to just fuck with me? Just only me. He's like, only James is coming back and doing the retro show right now, so we must fuck with him.
And you've got to watch him every single week.
Oh my god.
But of course, like Full Sail, that they're booing Bo Dallas. Like, this Bo Dallas is amazing. I love this Bo Dallas. We'll get to it later. But yeah, I love this version of Bo Dallas.
I will say this episode was like, okay, we had a match either 2 weeks ago in the main event with him and Neville, and I was like, that impressed me in a way that even the Arrival match didn't, because a lot of that was just, it's really hard to fuck up a ladder match, or main event one that people care about. But the wrestling in that match with Neville 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, he actually could like keep up with someone like Neville. And then they did this segment at the end. It was almost like a send off, and I was just like, wow, like Bo actually has something as this total geek, but Vince doesn't like total geeks to be total geeks unless it's his idea. So whatever. Like the main roster in NXT is just total disconnect.
But yeah, when Sylvester Lefort walked out, I was just like, oh, this NXT episode's just gonna get better and better.
I saw Lefort come on, and I could smell the cologne, the bad cologne, through my screen. I was just like, yo, this is wild. This is wild. So
is this before or after his and whatever his tag team partner's name was, a feud with Enzo and Cass?
I don't know any of that. When we come to it, we'll cover it then. But I didn't know the tag team. This is literally my first time ever hearing of LaFord or seeing LaFord since we've been doing this retro show.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
So you might have that to look forward to in quotation marks.
Yay! So after Mojo leaves, out comes Brodus Clay. He picks up LaFord and power bombs him, and then gives him a second rope splash for no apparent reason better than LaFord looks like the top goon for a Denzel or Liam Neeson villain in a movie that he kills midway through the final scene. So Brodus grabs him. So Ed?
If he's lucky and he's not the drug dealer that gets shot 30 minutes in.
Oh God. Yeah, like he's the guy that gets tortured into giving information to the whereabouts of the actual top goon in the main villain. Yeah, you're right. It's one or the other. Either he's the snitch or he is the top goon. There's like no in between. Like he's not a guy that just catches a couple bullets on the side and just moves off. Like he has lines. He has dialogue.
I think it's fair to say there's a reason when he went to TNA he was done within like 2 weeks.
I'm glad that we're getting all this LaFort like retro information in of stuff, and it's because of you. Because if I feel like if I was doing this show with anyone else, it'd be like we'd be moving on and be like, who the fuck even was that guy? So thank you, I appreciate this.
Why am I dedicating so much time to him? Move on, Jeremy. Jeremy, move on, James. I think I'm keeping it strong style for a second.
So Brodus grabs the mic and says that he saw NXT Arrival and Triple H and John Cena endorse Adrian Neville. He says he's given his blood, sweat, and tears to those who have never even looked his way. He says he's a main event player. Yeah, right. And he deserves a shot. He says that he called out Neville last week and Neville stayed in the back, so he's calling him out again. So out comes Neville, just looking like an IT geek at your job that would whoop your ass. So
it was very weird clothing that he was wearing. It's like, this is first name Adrian Neville.
Yes. Either A, he was just getting off of work, or B, he was just getting out of church. I don't know which one. You tell me.
The beige. Why the beige? I don't understand that, Adrian.
What even worse is this. Okay. He had a short sleeve collar shirt tucked inside the khakis. I believe it was a brown belt, but it's just like whatever you find comfort in, wear it, I guess. You know, those are we described as his street clothes. So
I think we'll call this another unimportant thing that Imp's got hooked up on.
So Neville calls Brodus a complainer that wastes his opportunities, and it made me think, wow, they've been talking about people and wasting opportunities and for 5 fucking years. So they go face to face, and Brodus says that Neville is a small dog with a big bark, and then Neville says, "That's funny, because I thought you would be taller." The crowd goes, "Ooh." They tease like they're going to fight, and then Brodus bells out the ring, and Neville looks completely unbothered. It's funny.
Brodus Clay, another one who'll be in TNA within a year.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. What was his name in TNA?
Oh, bloody, that's a tough. Tyrus.
That's right. Tyrus. I think the last time I've seen Brodus Clay / Tyrus was probably Glow. Like the Netflix show. It's probably the last time I've seen him.
I see him on Twitter because he keeps appearing on Fox and Friends, and people go, "Oh, look, he's on that again." He's
on Fox and Friends?
I think it is either that or one of the Fox News channels. I'm not American. I don't know what the difference is really.
I'm just surprised that he's on Fox and Friends.
I think they let him on to talk about animals good. Or something like that. So, yeah. Because he's very pro... I was going to say pro-whale. But that sounds really weird. Yeah, he's an animal advocate. I say it like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. But if he's on Fox and Friends, like, get off, Brodus. What are you doing?
Yeah, like, it's like, you're pro-animals. Like, Fox News is more about trying to get rid of a habitat that animals live in. They don't give a flying fuck about deforestation. Get out. Run. Leave. Sprint. Holla. So
I watch, whenever I've seen that show, this has got nothing to do with wrestling. Whenever I see that show, I live in, like, right near a country type of place where it's, I mean, British countryside where it's like fields and all that loveliness. We've got a nature reserve right near me. Like, I am very white. I live way out everywhere that I live. And I'd put on Fox and Friends, and I'm like, "Oh, you're too white for me. I can't take it. It's too bad. It's so bad." I'm like, "No. No, just stop being so xenophobic." Yeah, I'll stop that point. It's just like, for me, it's too much. I can't take it. So, yeah.
Imagine living with it. Yikes. So we'll move on. We get a backstage interview with some dude named Oliver. You got any intel on Oliver, Imp?
Oliver had a British accent.
Did he?
Or he had an Australian accent. I tried to figure it out during the speech, and I was like, I've heard Australian, English, South African, American, maybe. I don't know. I know Corey Graves became tag team champions with somebody, didn't he? Was it Corey Graves or Graves on Neville? One of them became...
For some reason, I want to say... no, I'm thinking of Ty Dillinger being Cody Rhodes' tag team partner in developmental.
Yeah.
I can't remember who Graves' dude was.
Veins. I got it up for a second. Oliver Gray. That'll be him.
Ah, okay.
English professional wrestler. Ah, suck it. He was English.
Well, there's always the out. It could be English in the way that, like, Toni Storm is English, whereas, like, she is, but she's also Australian, and we both claim her because, like, we love her both.
Like, he gets released on April 30th.
Wow, he got released, like, right after this?
Yeah, he returns, he has a match, and then Camacho. I think that might be it. So, match with Camacho.
Camacho's whoops that ass, and he's done.
Yep. So you got him next week, and that's it. That's this guy, and he's there as the I don't know if he exists in America, but we call it the pub quiz, or like the trivia quiz answer to who was Neville's tag team partner when he won the first championships. And everyone's like, "What?"
Okay, so. Wow, so I'm just thinking about it. Wow, like, so this Oliver dude got, like, the same treatment, more or less, that, like, Dean Ambrose just... Never mind. We'll move on. We get a backstage interview with some dude named Oliver, as I mentioned before, and then Camacho immediately interrupts and steals Buddy's interview. He calls out Adam Rose and says because he's still mad about getting his ass whooped a few weeks ago by Adam Rose. So the homie Oliver stands up for himself by politely challenging Camacho for a match next week. Camacho nods and leaves. Oliver looks heated.
Whilst I just have the new GOD theme in my head whilst watching it. I stopped listening, Oliver.
Yeah. That's funny because actually we were in New York and Rich like played that song like 2 or 3 times, like just because he was playing through like theme music while we were still at where we were staying. So it's funny that like you mentioned it because it's like Camacho, he left and look where he's at now. He is one half of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champs and the Ring of Honor Champs, even though, they don't give a fuck about ROH, apparently, but still, like, he's doing some things, and, his career's picking up.
And he's the modern-day Lex Luger of selling. He is amazing. I can't remember which Wrestle Kingdom it is. Whichever one where Steve Corino just... his eyes watered with laughter. It's just. So
Are you talking about the delayed sale?
Yeah, well, he would just then he would the bit will swear when he sells it.
Yes,
well.
yes.
So I was like, it'll be like a split second after the move has been done. They go, "Fuck!" It's like really loudly.
So then we get the Scooby-Doo WrestleMania mystery commercial, and then we get a recap of the NXTers time during Access for WrestleMania 30. So it features Sami Zayn, Paige, Adam Rose, Charlotte, CJ Parker, Bayley, Neville, Bo Dallas, Tyler Breeze, Mojo, Big Cass, Jason Jordan with that terrible hair, Cesaro, Court Graves, Sasha, The Ascension, Aiden English, and musty-ass Sylvester LaForte. Anyway,
I'll just say that I know Jason Jordan, for me, he looked like such a geek. It was so just the way he was dressed and everything. He was just like, oh, you're like a children's presenter. It's so weird.
I don't know what he was going for. Like, I need a little insight into what he was going for, but whatever it was, he ain't land the mark. It's just whatever he was going for, it wasn't quite it. He thinks he got it. We say nah. So
reminded me of what the NXT UK guy, is it Ramsey? That guy.
Oh yeah.
Like I called him the what's it? The Afro Dicky Bow combo guy because it's like such a weird style. But he is a children's presenter.
But at least that's more in style with what. I sound old because I'm 31, but like at least that's more in style with like if you get one of these new dudes or young kid haircuts, like that's fitting more in style with what's going on the streets, quote unquote, right? But I was on those streets back in 2014, and that wasn't it, Jason Jordan. Nah, cut that shit off. We get a backstage interview with the great Khali of all people. So
this made me laugh.
He punches up all his lines till the real hook comes, and the hook is Bayley runs up on Khali and hugs the shit out of him. She looks so happy, and then CJ Parker walks up and says he hopes that Khali recycles because he looks like he makes 3 times the amount of waste that a normal geek that sits in the stands would. Khali, I assume, cusses out Parker in Punjabi, and then Bayley translates saying that Khali says that he'll see Parker in the ring next week. Next week's episode of NXT is already looking like a dumpster fire. It's
good luck with that one.
You sure you don't want to come back? No.
I've got a Superstar Shake-Up show to do next week.
Hopefully, whoever I ask to do this show next week will not be listening to this episode. Like,
so they won't know.
Khali? Oh, fuck no. I'm not doing this. I'm out of here.
It's really weird because there's multiple things here. First off, when Khali speaks Punjabi and he's replying to him, I just immediately pretend he's doing a Iron Sheik tweet.
Oh,
it's
God.
just like with the swear words and everything. Like, fuck you fucking piece of fucking shit. Don't know why he's Australian in my telling. But then there's...
make you humble.
Then CJ Parker, and it's just like, oh, he would be so over nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Like 5 years too early.
Yes. And not... The thing is, people keep mentioning this thing about the correlation between Daniel Bryan right now and his current run versus CJ, and the thing is, like, it works better in the same way that, like, the Kofi thing right now is working better than what it been at Mustafa never got hurt, and Mustafa's in that role because you have the experience of being with this person and spending so much time with him and all that sort of thing, where, like, Daniel Bryan is, one, more talented than CJ Parker, two, looked at as more of a serious threat than CJ Parker, and two, like, has all that history of, like, we had Occupy Raw, we had, the comeback and like the tears and all that stuff, and like he now just like turned his back by kicking AJ in the dick, and like he's a bad guy, and he took the yes stuff away from us. So like that's part of the reason why we hate him so much or so mad. And he's not even trying to be a cool heel. He's literally trying to be the biggest piece of shit that he could be, with some credibility from storytelling perspective, which a lot of these heels these days don't, because it's WWE. But like CJ Parker's like, he's just a geek. He's just a geek and no one takes it serious. So it's like, I can't wait till like the next takeover or a couple takeovers we have from now where like Owen shows up and beats the hell out of him on his debut, and it's like, well, we'll never see that guy again.
I think you're right. I think by Wrestle Kingdom he is a young boy.
Yeah.
For my
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like it worked out for the best because he has a much better career going for him in Ring of Honor. With was it Lifeblood?
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Yeah,
with Lifeblood, and also being the U.S. champ than in New Japan than he ever would have in NXT or WWE ever.
Oh, because especially with the CJ Parker gimmick, that's going nowhere fast. Yeah, he's at maximum a jobber who does get on television.
Right,
that's his peak. Right. Yep. Like what No Way Jose wishes he just had.
Like he becomes like best case scenario, he becomes Slater, like the guy that has a damn near 10-year career, but is as a jobber and doing comedy stuff and getting his ass whooped every other week and being in catering. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, back to the show. So, what were you saying?
I was just saying, once again, we got hung up on something that just really wasn't important.
Yes. Shifted. Maybe me and you aren't a good pairing because we both just have especially me, I just have a tendency just to veer off course. Maybe that's a bad trait for a podcast host. Who knows? We'll see. So,
it's the best trait ever.
Yes. So, we get a commercial for the horror movie Oculus. Then out comes Bo Dallas. The commentary mentions that Bo made his main roster debut on Monday, which means Bo Dallas has been on the main roster for 5 years. I can't believe this.
Shit.
I cannot believe
He is one of those that you're just like, really? That's incredible.
Yes, lifer. Like, he is like the new age JTG. It's just like, one day he's going to get that pink slip and be like, I can't believe Bo didn't make it this time.
Well, quickly, we'll just say I marked out so much when the Crime Times music hit at Joey Janela's spring break.
Oh my god.
Just like, yo, 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 Shad Cascada, Jay-Z.
Was it him or him and Shad?
Him and Shad.
Wow.
Both of them came out. I was just like, and they're in the Crime Time gimmick and everything. I was like, this clusterfuck has been so weird, but calm down a minute now. It's just, yeah. It's one of those things that you don't think you would pop for, but then you're just not ready. He catches you off guard, and he gets you.
See, I miss that era of that problematic-ass gimmick for the most part, so I don't have that nostalgia pop in me for that. I just come out and be like, oh, they just had black guys like do a robbery thief gimmick. Okay, that's great, awesome. Thanks, Vince.
I remember at the time when they broke them up, I was thinking, right, I'm ready for their pushes now. I'm really, yes, they get ready to climb and slowly main event, guys. Yes, do it. Of course, I was a teenager at the time and didn't realise that African Americans don't climb the card in WWE.
No.
I was naive.
like people, it's so funny listening to this Kofi thing over the last few weeks about like how many black champions WWE, top champions WWE's ever had, and whether or not to count The Rock or whatever else. And I'm like, fine, count The Rock. That only just shows you that like you have to be the fucking Rock to be black and a champion. Like you have to be somebody that holds within you the charisma, charms, look, and physique and star quality in you to become the highest grossing actor in Hollywood. That's what it took to be a black champion WWE. If it's WWE, like that is true exceptionalism. Like that doesn't even count. Like The Rock, Kane didn't possess none of that. Like Kane was just 6'10" and white. That's all it was. And he wrestled like another guy that already exists. He wrestled like The Undertaker. Okay.
And I had to look it up for my own stuff, and it turns out The Rock never left WrestleMania with the title.
Exactly.
Not once.
Yes.
It was like, oh, yeah, so I needed to check I wasn't speaking bollocks in my column. That Kofi was the first. I was like, yeah, absolutely. He is.
Yes. And it's so funny because I stopped watching wrestling. I blacked out. And people that have ever listened to anything I've ever done long enough, they've heard me tell this story before, but I don't know if you heard it before him. I stopped watching the night that WrestleMania 16 when Rock didn't win the title and then when the McMahon in every single corner. I was like, that's bullshit. We've never had a bad guy ever leave the leave WrestleMania as champion. So that was bullshit for one. Rock was the third hottest guy at worst, the third hottest guy in the history of my wrestling fandom ever, as far as him being that electric with the crowd, selling merch, all that stuff. So it made no damn sense too. Then you come to find out, it's like, okay, he loses. Then he lays out Hunter, Vince, and Stephanie after the match, which is like, well, we don't leave the crowd, going home on a sour note. How about this for a high note? He wins the fucking belt. So, and then the very next month, they then put the belt onto Rock, and it's like, well, why the fuck wouldn't you put him over on the biggest show of the year, you fucking idiots? Keep in mind, like, during this year, months later, they start the XFL and lose millions upon millions of dollars. So Vince was on one in 2000, so whatever. I'm sorry, I have to rein myself back and get it back on point. Sorry.
Well, talking about NXT. Yeah, yes. NXT from 2014.
Yes. So I'll cut to the chase. Bo comes out. He says that he's starting a sit-in movement similar to the Yes movement or Occupy Raw. So he said to tweet out and send all of his believers out to come out. He asked for all of them to stand and join him. There's literally one person in the entire Full Sail Arena wearing a Bo t-shirt, being a Bo fan. Everybody else, like 90% of the crowd, stands up, turns their back to the crowd. Bo says one of the funniest things I think I've ever heard in the ring. He starts squeaking because he's so upset and distraught, and he's able to squeak out, "I gave you cookies." It was the funniest shit ever. I gave you cookies. So he leaves out the ring. He's trying to yell at the crowd to get him to turn around. He actually walks by the one fan he has. That fan is literally clapping at him like, "I'm with you, Bo, I'm with you." I'm feeling like this is a plant. There's literally only one of them. So he gets back in the ring, he starts crying. We come back from commercial break with him still crying in the ring. Out comes NXT GM JBL. Jesus Christ. So oh my God. So one note I have to make. While he's doing his crying, he's literally like Ray J in the One Wish song where he's like, "I gave you my heart, I gave you my soul, I gave you everything." So this is so funny. So JBL comes out and said, and he just fucking buries Bo Dallas. He says, "This is the worst attempt at Occupy I've ever seen." And then he says to Bo, "You don't have enough people to occupy a seesaw in that ring." I howled.
Such a good segment.
Yes, like this is the best thing JBL may have ever done, including like shouting "ball game" after a big finish, or some match steals a show and he's like, "Somebody call the sheriff. These boys just stole the show." So
personal favorite where Michael Cole was just doing commentary, just turns to him and goes, "Shut up, Michael." it's just yeah. It's gold.
Maggle. 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 So he says, "You're not getting another title shot tonight, but you can get this match against Justin Gabriel, current day PJ Black." So Gabriel versus Bo Dallas. If you have something to say about this match, you can go ahead, because this is a boring match to me. I couldn't waste words on this one.
Yeah, exactly what you said. It was very boring. And the good news was Bo Dallas didn't look shit. They had him dominating for large portions, I guess. But the best part about this match was I was clocking all of the different puns they were doing with Bo's name, with all the chants and things. Yes. So it was just, it was Bo Ring.
Yes.
It was boring. There was...
worse than Batista.
Worse than Batista. That was it. I swear they did Bautista at some point.
They did Bautista while he was in the ring crying earlier. Before
that was it. Yes, that's the one. Yes. I think I'm forgetting some. But it was just, they had a slew of them.
Yeah, that match got shat on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, for all of the plaudits I just gave him for how amazing, like, this is the best Bo Dallas character. It's just... I'm trying to remember when he did where he went travelling around the world and he did all his little photographs. Like, you might check... If you weren't watching, you're in for a treat. If I'm right, when he leaves, he's not gone, he comes back. If I'm right. Yeah. But it's brilliant.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you there.
Yeah. When I say brilliant, it's like he's looking me in the eye.
Oh, like it's. Are you saying that it's brilliant in like a banter way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like earlier where he was like, "Don't you guys love me?" It's kind of like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's a comedy geek, so if you're gonna do comedy, and I can laugh at your expense and you're a heel. Good job. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, he gets better and better at that before he then gets called up to the main roster. And plus, the best part is, it's very likely, unless I've missed something, it's very likely that he did sell them cookies. Like, that was an actual thing. That wasn't just a joke.
Right. They actually showed that in the video package right before the match at Arrival. So, yeah. Yes, it's part of canon for this show, yes. It's part of canon for the review show, yes. So,
but so the match was boring.
Yes.
It's Justin Gabriel we thought was there to inject energy, but no, he was there to get headlocked. So that was...
He was there to get squeezed on, yes.
And then the best part is Bo Dallas's music is like a rock song with loads of energy in it.
Yes.
It's just like, does not fit at all.
Yes.
It's not a bad theme song, it's just bad theme song for Bo Dallas. It doesn't gel.
It fits right in place with like the Cody Rhodes Smoke and Mirrors, like the remix version. Like after he stopped the Doctor Doom shit, like it fits in line with that one, and it fits in line with the "I'm here to show the world, I'm here to show the world." It's like, wow, like listen to that music, like he was set to be a mid-carder for years. Now he's just a job guy for years.
Yes.
So, yeah. Finishing notes up, they go through the motions for about 7-8 minutes until Bo counters and hits his double underhook DDT for the win. Bo celebrates as the show fades to black. Thanks, great show, guys. So, yeah, we kind of went long on this. I know you gotta get around, so like.
I'm only live in 45 minutes.
Yeah, so let's just do this. Let's just give our thoughts on NXT and the next in the show. We can just do it in like 10, 15 minutes.
But the most important thing is, yes, he's got to get back on. Shot! That shot! Come on! Kick out, man! Kick out! To win the title! Yeah! Mama effing mia! Full strength, it's my time! Oh! Gargano avoids! The last shot! Gargano's Gargano escape! Cole trying to has him in the middle of the ring. Cole's in trouble. He's got to tap. Oh, wow. From ultimate underdog to NXT's top dog.
So
no tangents.
What was your favorite moments of Friday night?
So I got ill immediately. Me going, no tangents. Thursday I got ill.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was completely out of it for like proper man flu. I was out of it for Thursday when I did my show, for Friday, for Saturday. Sunday I was finally good enough, so thank God I could actually comprehend WrestleMania. But yeah, so I missed the women's match and I've had to rewatch it because I fell asleep. I tried my best, but I fell asleep, and then Gargano, Adam Cole. So I'm getting to it. My favourite part was because I was ill on my bed, completely out of it. I'd already fallen asleep and missed most of the women's match. Then Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano started wrestling, and the crowd got so hot, and the match was so good, especially for that last fall, that I was lying there at like 3 a.m. in the morning, completely wide awake, full attention, really drawn into it, following everything. It was just like, it's like it temporarily snapped me out of my illness. I was so into it. It was absolutely awesome. Obviously, it's nothing like it would have been like there being live, because I was watching it thinking, my God, it must be amazing to be in that building.
Oh,
that guy is so hot.
It was. And as you can tell by my voice, like, I haven't got my voice back since then, like fully. Like my voice is still gone. Like that thing was incredible. Like the whole show was incredible, but that last fall in that match, like you can say what you want to about the first 2 falls about how it wasn't enough or it wasn't up to snuff compared to the rest of the match, but that last fall is amongst some of the best wrestling in WWE history. Going through that fall, I've come out of it thinking like that's a 5-star match or a 5-star fall or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, it was. I've always thought that Johnny was going to win because Adam Cole was set to be in the 3-way match with Riddle in the North American title match and a 3-way with Riddle in Dream. So I never thought he was going to win that match. And then we all knew that Ciampa was going to lose to Johnny on the show. So, we haven't seen Johnny since Ciampa got hurt on the main roster. So you feel like that's a thing where like he's back in NXT. So for me, it was like, Johnny's going to win. But there were points where I was recording on my phone, trying to record the end of the match. And when they did the spot where they do super kick to the back of the head, last shot, I literally stopped recording, put my phone away, and was like, I just got fucked. My favorite wrestler who's been chasing after this thing for like 20 months through 6 takeovers, all that, he's about to lose. It's done. And he kicked out. And that was the last of the kickouts, but it was he beat all the odds. He was deck stacked against him with fighting 4 guys off. He looks like he's down and out. He gets hit with like, you're done, you're finished. He kicks out anyway, and then he slaps on a Gargano escape. And I actually have the end of that up on my phone, and you can't see me, but all you can hear me is yell, tap, 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 tap. And then he taps out, and I lost it. Like, if I wasn't, and I said to Rich and Jeremy and everybody else, and they asked me my thoughts on the show. If I didn't have Finisher with me, talking my ear off, and we were sitting right next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, and it wasn't so loud in that building throughout that whole building to where I lost my voice trying to conversate with him throughout matches. If it wasn't that loud and I wasn't next to him, I probably would have burst into tears. And then once Ciampa came out and they hugged, I've hated Ciampa's guts for so long that like at times, joking and not joking, like I didn't even refer to his name. I called him dude for months, like 6-7 months. And then when I started doing this show, I was like, I can't call him dude anymore because it causes confusion. So I have to call him Ciampa. But they hugged, and then it went from I'd have been crying to there would have been snot running down my nose. I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever. This is wrestling. So it was a great moment. The cap off with all the other great moments on the show. I think it's personally the best takeover ever. I've had people like Rich, he thinks it's not, but he thinks it's the second best, which is still saying like, that's basically saying like, I don't think it's the greatest show WWE's ever produced. I think it's the second best. So it was a tremendous night and a culmination of a lot of stuff and just a great chapter, and it's almost like a moment of time because like the end of that War Raiders and Black Cachet match, you know that like those guys are gone. That's why they get that reaction, because they know that like we'll never see him like this anymore. And Rich said it. I think it's quite fitting. He said that Ricochet was crying because he knows he'll never be booked this well ever again.
Yeah. I've seen loads of people do that on Twitter as well. It's like, is he crying because he's got demoted to the main roster?
Yeah, he got brought down to the main roster, not up, down.
Where Aleister Black has got that creaking noise on his thing.
My God.
I'm like, oh my.
Have you caught the one they do at Ricochet?
Or the
Yes, like
the lightning strike.
Yeah, for a while he had the Tanahashi deal, and then like a week or two ago he was coming out while at the same time they started doing the creeping noise, like he's in, like Aleister Black's in Thriller. They started doing this thing where he would come out in a denim jacket with cut off sleeves and a hoodie on, and he pulled back the hoodie and lightning struck like he was a fucking Undertaker. And I was like, oh, this.
Oh, they actually had it strike. Oh,
yes, they had the thunder crack in sync with him flipping off the hood, and I'm just like, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. Like, I understand that he's electric, but damn, chill. Like, you don't have to sports entertain everything up a notch. Just, it's okay. Let him sports entertain with the flips and everything else you're going to come up with when he does a love triangle angle with someone later a few years.
Oh, that's happening.
Like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Ricochet's too handsome to not avoid that. Yes. He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to be in all the trappings of all the shenanigans.
But I was trying to explain that to Plan, not the handsome thing, the lightning thing. I was trying to explain that to him. And Plan's... Plan, I don't know if you don't know, Samuel Plan, writer at Lots of Pain as well, author of 101 Matches to See Before You Die.
Yes.
But
I know Plan from him yelling at me from stuff I say on the LOP review show.
But also he, so when I tried to explain that to him, he was saying, he's like, what? You mean when they do like a backflip or something in the ring? I was like, no, but we're only one step away. Oh, shit.
No, what you need to explain to him is, think of the Undertaker whenever he takes off his hat and rolls his eyes back, and you hear the thunder crack, except it's for taking off a hood on the ramp.
I think he saw the Shazam trailers and got excited.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
But yeah, we're only a matter of time away from sound effects in matches. It's going to happen. God. And I predicted it on my show last week. Augmented reality in matches. Oh, it's coming.
Oh, you mean like the 4D stuff for like Oscar's Mask or New Day and Booty-O's or whatever else?
Yeah. So like it's fine when they're doing it in entrance. Well, it's not fine. Like Randy Orton's looks so shit. WrestleMania.
Oh yes. Like it was funny because of WrestleMania 33 and like not because of the projectors of maggots and roaches on the screen, but when he walked out, like he was walking underneath what looked like a sperm. Right?
So, the giant snake. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Gigantic snake head with a small body. Sorry, sir. That's not a viper. That's a sperm. That is semen. So, what this year he had like snakes that are basically wrapped on top of each other, and I was like, somebody's gonna make a joke about that. Looks like an emoji poo. I haven't seen it yet, but I called my shot the same way that I called to Rich about the sperm, and sure enough, the sperm popped off. So I have to go and see. I have to go check to see if I was right again. I have to go. It's been a while.
Mate, saw somebody to soundbite James going short, and sure enough, the sperm popped off.
So,
but yes, it also looks shit.
Yes, yes,
yes.
It doesn't. It's not that it also looks like shit. It also looks shit. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. So
again, we've gone off on topic again.
It happens. All right. So, do you want to do some quick notes on this week's episode of NXT?
Yeah, 3 matches, lots of little highlighty things covering the match. So, I guess we can skip those a bit. Yeah. I can't remember all the matches, but I know we got not Gunner because I can't remember his name. It's Gunner from TNA. Who did he fight?
Yeah, Jackson Riker.
That's his name. He fought Danny Burch. That was the second match, so I've gone out of order.
Okay, we'll go in order. All right, Candice LeRae and Aaliyah with Vanessa Bourne sitting ringside.
Yeah, I feel like Aaliyah's finding her gimmick finally, which is awesome to see. Her and Vanessa Bourne, I think, are a great pairing. Yeah. And Candice, I'd like to see her used.
Yeah, you would like her to be anything other than like a prop for Johnny's storytelling. Yes, absolutely, because she's a very good wrestler.
Yeah, because of course I'm one of those guys that watched her in PWG as that blonde that always saved Joey Ryan.
Right. Better yet, I never saw her in PWG. I never heard of her until she showed up in my Young Classic, and I was like, and they did the interview pre-sale. I'm like, who is this nice, like, not bubbly, like this nice woman that like seems smiley and seems easy to like engage with, and I find out, oh yeah, like that's Johnny Gargano's wife, and I was like, really, Candice wrestling? No wonder I like her so much. So, but yeah, she had a great match with Shayna before she got eliminated. Yeah, she's a great storyteller. So you think like they could use that. I would love to see her in a match with like Mia Yim or somebody, because that'd be a great story they tell.
Multiple male wrestlers have credited her as like the strongest wrestler they know, as in like male or female. Oh, wow. She is really strong. Wow. So like a queen of intergender wrestling, if it ever happens. Well, I'm talking AIDS away.
Yeah. But, no Nia Jax, no thank you. No thank you. I don't want to see you wrestle anyone, let alone no thanks. So yeah, I was surprised that like Candice trusts Aaliyah to catch her on a Quebrada, but whatever. What do you think about? We move forward from that. Like, what do you think about Jackson Riker and Danny Burch?
Well, he's so memorable to me that I still call him Gunner from TNA because I can't remember his name.
It's like Okay, out of all the 3 Forgotten Sons, you forgot the only one that's memorable because look at him. He looks like like he comes out in that vest and he takes off the vest and also he looks like early odds or mid odds Batista, and it's like, where did this come from? Where you were hiding all of this in that vest? Why am I talking about you like hiding all of this in that vest? That's weird. Never mind. I'll move on. So, he's just not good. He's just not.
Yeah. Anyway, he screams mid-2000 SmackDown call-up, who's then released within the year.
Yeah, like
just
like
Matt,
guy.
Oh, well, I went to Matt Morgan.
You want to say Masters?
Oh well, yeah. Chris Masters. Well, oh yeah, awesome gimmick, but then couldn't really once it gone. Was there someone else that even more unmemorable than that? And his name began with L. If anyone can help, like mid 2005 began with L. Oh, he's so unmemorable. I can't get him. Oh, Luther Reigns. Oh,
excuse me.
Luther Reigns. That's his name.
Okay, I'm googling this shit right now. Luther Reigns.
Reigns, not veins.
Oh, okay.
Be careful googling someone called Luther Veins. You're gonna get a dick.
Wow. Wow. Alrighty then. Alright. Luther Reigns. Oh, okay. Yeah, he looks definitely like one of those guys. He's one of those. If Vince sees him, he'll be up. Yeah,
but he's just cookie cutter bland white guy. He's got nothing going for him. It looks like the same as like a million other people. So that's what I think when I think of Gunner.
Wow.
As in, yes, he's got his tattoos and he looks the deal, but no, he's not really. There's nothing special.
Dupree.
Oh, he did his French little dance on the stage.
No, I just named because I typed in the Luther Reigns dude, and then like people also search for Rene Dupree, Mark Jindrak, Charlie Haas, John Heidenreich, Gene Snitschke. It's like all of these body guys that suck. They're like people go through the same search for these guys. It's like, wow, that's awfully sad. Like that is the worst of the internet, the worst of the internet wrestling community.
It's like, the mid 2000s for call-ups. Oh, they are so depressing. Looking at like forgotten son after forgotten son. Yes. They're just
So let's see where we are from there. Oh, and then the final match. It was the Street Profits versus it was the European Union, right?
Are they just called Eichner Bartel?
I could have swore they were giving themselves that name, but yeah, it's Eichner Bartel.
We can't be called the European Union because we're getting that on the main roster with with the Bar and Drew McIntyre.
Right. But I thought I could have swore they were calling themselves maybe like a month ago, or maybe like 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago.
They might have. Actually, I feel like we did see them, and you are telling the truth.
Yeah, like if you go back to like I'm just lying and making it up. Like no, like if I remember, it was. They were on a similar show to this one, except it was for the UK Takeover in July or January. I forgot who they had their match with, but they were calling themselves that at the time. And the reason why I remember that is because that was more or less the first match I remember of Eichner, because Rich was telling me, like, you know, in the Cruiserweight Classic, he had a great match, and then like ever since then, on like when he sees him in the large group or whatever, he's doing absolutely nothing. And then I see the match on NXT UK, and I'm like, nah, bro. I guess he's back to doing this, back to being Cruiserweight Classic Eichner, because this wasn't boring. He's flipping around. He's doing all types of stuff. He's great. And then you go to like the tag team Dusty Classic this year, and he's great again. So I don't know. Maybe they took the training wheels off in similar to fashion like Dijak.
Well, yeah, because he's been showing up in NXT UK and he's been awesome. Yeah. My assumption as to why they're not called the European Union is they're showing up more on NXT UK.
Right.
And my assumption is you can't have heels called the European Union on a British wrestling show with the whole Brexit thing.
Could they with Brexit?
With WWE and how heavy-handed they handle most political stuff, yeah, they do it. 100%.
Oh, man.
Like, I'm surprised we have not seen any jobbers with suspect names after this past week. It's just we haven't had anything like that. I'm waiting for it. It's like it's prime time for something like that.
Speaking of that, I I think I mentioned this to you in the Lords of Pain Twitter thread or the next message thread. So why are most of the people in the House of Commons better promos than the people we have on the main roster? Someone explain that.
We've got the guy who goes order and the bashes come out. It's just we love you, Burko.
Yes, like. I mean,
so
they didn't send under Dusty Rhodes in the promo class. So I'm trying to understand how did they get that good, but our guys don't.
I don't really know. Like my brother's fiance is from Utah, and because it's been the kind of debatey things with the House of Commons. So she's absolutely loved it, just because it's so over the top with the order and it's like, Mr. Speaker, may I say? Oh, yes, she absolutely loves that. So I'd recommend it for any American. Watch one for like 5 minutes.
Yes,
and it's yes.
You'll be like, we're doing it all wrong in Congress. We're doing it all wrong. Like C-SPAN would be lit if we did the House of Commons. So, but yeah.
Like, should have seen a face when I was saying, it was like, oh, and have you noticed that the reason that this is in session is because they have brought in the scepter and the globe? It was like, what are you on about? It's like, yeah, there's like a proper scepter and everything. So, yeah. It's a little, I forgot what the word is. I'm going to end that sentence like I didn't say it.
Yeah, well, all I know is they were dropping the hammer on Theresa May, the one I saw. Like, it just... and it was right to her face. Like, she's in that room, and they're like, she's a failure. She's tried to fail, or she's tried it like 3 or 4 different times, and it keeps failing. We need to change this shit. And I'm just like, yo, this is wild. Right to her face. She's right there. So... I guess there's enough political or geopolitical talk. We'll just continue on with this developmental wrestling podcast by just saying that, this match was longer than the other two, but it was a good match, and they ended with I think it was the Doomsday Device, right?
It's so long ago now. We've been on such a journey.
It wasn't a Doomsday Device. It was a Doomsday Blockbuster for the win. By the Street Profits. They won. I thought it was a good match. I would love for them to wrestle again for a longer form. Like, I would love both of these tag teams to be elevated. Like, those two plus Lorcan and Birch. Like, they're awesome in the ring. I would love for them to get more storytelling time. Like, if NXT were ever to move to a 90-minute show or a 2-hour show, like, that'd be the first thing I would want them to do is, like, have a mid-card tag feud that has stakes and also a secondary women's feud that has stakes as well. Like, I always feel like those are the things that are left off the cutting board table. Like, there's always going to be something for the women. There's going to be something for one tag team, like Undisputed, but they have so much talent and they can make so much use of them and add to the card or whatever else, but I understand that you want your best and you have these time constraints because it makes for a better card overall, but if they ever get into feeling like they need to, sell off the FS1 or whatever else and move it to 2 hours, they're more than capable because they have plenty of talent just sitting there.
So I was just hit with the wave of, why SmackDown goes to 3 hours? Oh, no.
No. 2 is the magic. 2 is the magic number. 2 hours is the magic number. Anything over that, we don't want that.
Fox will see the money and be like,
God. No. Like, no, please, don't.
It's fine. AEW will be on by then. We'll have even more wrestling to watch.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I was like, AEW, that'd be great. And then I just worked together how much maths, like how long that would be. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, like, I try to watch things outside of fake fighting, but the fake fighting, there's so much of it. And I can't, and I feel like I'm almost like a completist in a way. It's up. I must watch it. But I sleep. No, I don't have to. Okay, so, oh man, yeah, it's 2 more hours. Wow.
I used to watch WWE pay-per-views. Like, I used to watch all of them live. Like, it was once a month, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, what really helped was the show being shit. That really helped.
You were like, I'm not missing anything.
Yeah,
I'm not missing anything. I'm good.
Yeah, it's like the people you see defending WWE to like tooth and nails, like, businesses aren't your friends. You're not being held here. You can just stop. So, yeah.
You speak my language. I like, just because they put it out there does not mean I have to like it. it doesn't mean you have to like it. If it's not good, it's not good. If you feel it wastes your time, it's okay saying that it feels waste your time. They can't hear you. And better yet, they don't want to hear you. They're too busy raking in the money.
Yeah. And it's billions. They're fine.
Yes. Like, do you ever imagine that, like, somewhere, like Stephanie and Vince and maybe even Linda and Hunter, like, sometimes they occasionally, like, think of, like, the primetime players and they do the dance and they're like, billions of dollars, billions of dollars, billions of dollars. It just came to my mind, but I doubt it. But then again, you know, the man's love dancing, so maybe they do it. I wouldn't pay because I'm tired of giving Vince my money, but I would really enjoy seeing them do the primetime players dance.
Something tells me Vince pitched it to him.
Oh God,
he was the one to do it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this has been me and Imp mostly just vamping and just saying stuff around wrestling reviews. Thanks for doing the show, Imp. Do you want to get your plugs in?
Oh shit, yes. All right. This goes out tomorrow, does it? Or was it Saturday?
This is going out in a couple hours.
Oh shit, right. Well, by the time this comes out, I'll probably still be live. So I am live on Laws of Pain Radio every single Thursday. My former co-host Byrne is now joining me every single week for the next 2 months. Hope maybe, don't know if it's going to be longer, but it's 2 months for now. And we're doing WWE stuff. Tonight we're covering WrestleMania weekend. That's why I said weekend. So that's like Takeover, the Ring of Honor, New Japan, the Madison Square Garden show, WrestleMania, Raw After Mania, and SmackDown Live. God give us mercy. That's going to be it. I've set the show for 3 hours. I go live at 1 a.m. my time because I'm English. So that's crazy. He's Pacific, so it's horrible. But anyway, yes, you can also follow me on Twitter at the Damn Implicat. I was going to do the old plug I used to do where it's damn as in damn. I've not done that for years. But yes, I'm on Twitter. I try and tweet within times of shows going out, but I'm English. I'm not mental. I think I will be up for the shake-up. I'm not sure. Depends. I might watch the first hour of Raw, and if it's shit, then I was like, no, it's 2 a.m. I do not have to stay up for this. Just go to sleep.
You don't owe this man anything.
But I also pump out columns. I try and post every Monday or Tuesday. This week, I was way too ill, way too tired. My brain wasn't working. I gave it a go. I just couldn't write words good, so... But yes. Yes, I'm writing every single Monday or Tuesday, more or less, with the Imp's Adventures columns over at Laws of Pain. I think that's all my plugs.
Positive, I'm sure.
I'm going to stop and say yes. I've written them all down for my own show, which I'm doing in 30 minutes.
Well,
let's
take a look.
No. Oh, that's good. This week, all I've got to plug are the other Laws of Pain shows. So,
okay.
Nothing here. I've had a whole list for the past 3 months, so now I've got nothing. Oh, wait, no, there is something. Yeah, you might even be on it. The 7 million special, whenever we do that.
Oh, we're doing that on Saturday, right?
So I put it out there, and then with everything that happened, I completely forgot. Because in the middle of all of this, last week my brother got married.
Oh, wow.
So it's been mental for this everything. So I completely forgot, and I've just hit everybody up again, and I think Doc might be getting it in order, so it's done. Or I've completely misread him, and I'm meant to be doing it. So wait and see.
I hit him up because he's at times can be very busy.
So I think we'll be going live with that or early May, maybe.
Okay.
Because I'm busy late April, but we'll wait and see. See if we can get everybody together. It's the English folks who are probably going to be more irritating than the American guys. But yeah, 7 million specials to look out for on Laws of Pain. Why is it called 7 million special? I've not explained it. We're about to hit 7 million listens, which is insane. So I thought we'd do a special. It only took me 20 minutes to explain.
Yes, and if I know Rich, he's ready to only take credit for 5 million of those, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll talk to him about it.
But yes, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, man. You definitely helped me out. I'm glad you dealt with my schedule and all that other stuff. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen Tell us folk about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to check out our friends at powerslam.tv, the sponsor of the show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling and they have over 4,000 hours of footage from all over the world, you can use the code Social Suplex to get your free month's trial. Don't forget to visit prowrestlingtees.com/Social Suplex to pick up your official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Be sure to check out the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. On Sundays, we have One Nation Radio with me and Rich. On Tuesday, we have Keepin It Strong Style with Jeremy and Josh. On Wednesday, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast with Quit Playing. You know who's on it. So, also on every other Wednesday, we have Grown Men Watch This Shit with Jeremy and Chris. On Thursdays, we have this show, NXT, Then, Now, Forever. And on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite with Floyd. Be sure to check them all out. Rate, subscribe, listen, all that jazz. Thank you guys for listening. Later.